All right, welcome everyone. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if federal taxes were completely eliminated on Social Security benefits? Well, if so, you're certainly not alone. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing all of those details as well as how much the average retiree would be saving every year with the complete elimination of federal taxation on your monthly benefits. I'll give you a quick little hint. It is within the thousands upon thousands of dollars for the average beneficiary. It's a lot of money, especially right now when everybody is struggling, especially the low income, fixed income, and seniors. It's a rough situation. Either way, I have all the details for you here in the video. Let's get into it and talk about it. First off, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with those buttons right down below the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, do you know someone that may benefit from this information? If so, will you please share it with them? Again, with the share button down below. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being here, and let's talk through it. All right, so we have a lot of details here that I want to share with you, and believe it or not, a lot of people actually don't recognize this, but there are millions, tens of millions of beneficiaries out there that pay federal taxes and state taxes, a lot of people as well, on their Social Security benefit. However, to be fair, everything I'm talking about here in this video is pertaining to federal taxation. Unfortunately, not state taxation, but yes, that is a thing as well. There's a handful of states out there that take a nice chunk of Social Security benefits on the state level as well, okay? But we're talking about the federal level here. But anyway, which by the way, as of recently, we've had a number of high-profile people coming out suggesting the complete elimination of federal taxes on Social Security benefits. And believe it or not, this is actually a pretty popular thing. A lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon and saying, yeah, I agree, sign me up, right? I would love to have this as well. Because again, this is collecting $51 billion a year from beneficiaries through double taxation. Remember, you paid Social Security payroll taxes going in order to be eligible for the program in the first place. You had to pay at least basically 10 years worth of taxes into Social Security. I mean, in order to get your 40 credits, in order to be eligible for the benefits. And then once you start receiving again, they take a bunch of it back, right? To a tune of $51 billion. That's nuts. That is being taken away from seniors who need that money right now, okay? But anyway, let me run through the details really quickly of who would be subject to federal taxes on their Social Security benefit as an individual, as a married couple. I'll give you all those details and those dollar amount thresholds, which by the way, these have not been adjusted in a couple decades. They are not keeping up with inflation. So every year, more and more and more seniors and beneficiaries are falling subject or falling prey to federal taxation of their benefits. It's a sad situation. Every year we're seeing millions more people falling into this threshold, okay? Let me buzz through these details for you really fast here, and then I'll share some more, some pretty surprising information. Again, the average amount of money the average beneficiary would be saving by the elimination of federal taxes. I mean, it's a lot of money here, okay? It's a lot of money to me anyway. I think so. But anyway, let me tell you these details really fast here, okay? All right, so as an individual, if your income is between $25,000 and $34,000 a year, 50% of your benefit would be subject to federal taxes, okay? So not a 50% tax rate, but rather 50% of your benefit would then be subject to federal taxation. Does that make sense? And any income as an individual over $34,000 a year, up to 85% of your benefit would then be taxable by the federal government as well. It's a lot. It's a lot of benefit that is then being subject to tax just based on your income, right? And here's the thing. $25,000 to $34,000, that's honestly not that much money for an individual to live on for an entire year. That's, you know what I mean? It's rough. It's pretty tough these days, right? All right, so as a married couple now, if your income is between $32,000 and $44,000, up to 50% of your benefit would then be taxable on the federal level. Now, if your income as a married couple is over $44,000, then up to 85% of your benefit would then be taxable by the federal government, okay? And again, that's as a married couple, okay? So those are the thresholds, and those have been in place for a couple decades now. They have not been updated in a very, very long time, and they are not pegged to inflation. Like a lot of these other metrics that we set on Social Security, they're all pegged to and adjusted accordingly to inflation every year. That's not the case with this, right? Shocking. We're all super surprised, right? Gee, we're super surprised that they left these thresholds super low so they can tax the crap out of more people. Yeah, exactly, right? But anyway, so those are the thresholds, okay? But here's the thing. Get this. The average beneficiary, the average retiree, according to the research and according to the reports that I was reading on this, the average retiree would be saving anywhere between $1,600 and $5,000 a year of taxation of their monthly benefit. Could you benefit from an extra between $1,600 and an extra $5,000 a year of your money that you would be keeping, but rather it is being paid through federal taxes? Would you benefit from that? I mean, just imagine that. That's a lot of money. I mean, here's the thing. $1,600, that's like your monthly rent. I mean, seriously, the average monthly rent right now across the entire country is about $1,350, about $1,350, okay? So that's like your monthly rent plus an extra $250. If you're getting $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 of extra savings, that's like a year's worth of groceries. I mean, that's like months and months worth of rent. That's probably a few mortgage payments. You know what I mean? That's a lot of extra money that you could have in your pocket, okay? Now, that's pretty exciting for a lot of people. So that's just kind of what I want to share with you here. Now, what else is interesting about this as well is just recently, Donald Trump came out and suggested the complete elimination of federal taxes on Social Security benefits. Now, remember, this is the federal level. He would want to eliminate taxation of Social Security benefits on the federal level. And again, this would save tens of millions of Social Security beneficiaries $51 billion a year, because that's exactly how much Social Security got back out of beneficiaries this past year, according to the Social Security Board of Trustees. That's nuts. $51 billion is a lot of money that should be in the pockets of seniors. So that's nuts, right? That's a lot of extra money. Now, here's another thing as well. There's always two sides to every story. And again, I don't want to sit here and take sides. I don't want to say like this is bad or good. All that I know is that saving money and keeping money in the pockets of the beneficiary who earned the money and paid in through their whole life and things like this through payroll taxes should not be taken away from them. I just feel like leave the seniors alone. I don't know why this is so hard for them to figure out. Why do they keep going after the seniors? Leave the seniors alone, right? I don't know how else to say it. I mean, let's just put it how it is. Seniors, they have a lot of expenses. They've put the service in. They put the time in. Leave them alone. You know what I mean? Let them do their retirement. Just leave us alone. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not a senior, but you get my point here, okay? But anyway, now, obviously, there's two sides of the story. Now, there's other reports that come out and say, well, this is going to cause a deficit of $1.6 trillion over the next 10 years without the taxation of benefits. I don't totally buy that. Here's why. They're collecting $51 billion a year as of right now. Last year, I don't remember exactly what it was. I thought it was $49 billion last year. So let's just call it $50 billion a year is what they're collecting right now from beneficiaries in the form of taxation. Well, if we extrapolate that over the course of, say, 10 years, that's not $1.6 trillion. It's $500 billion. Don't get me wrong, that's a ton of money, right? But that's over a 10-year period of time. $500 billion. That's a lot of money, but I'm sure they can figure it out. I'm sure they can figure out a way to bring in an extra $50 billion of income somehow, somewhere. Here's the thing. If they actually invested the money from the trust fund properly and didn't just let it sit there, they could get a much better return than the pathetic 2.4% that they're actually getting, that they've actually returned on the nearly $3 trillion. If they actually did something with that money and just rather than let it sitting there, they could easily return way more than $50 billion of what they would potentially, I don't want to say lose, because that's pathetic to say lose, but the money that they would not be getting through taxation of benefits if they just invested even a fraction of the $2.788 trillion and they got a better return on that of even say 4 or 4.5 or 5%, they could easily, without a doubt, bring in way more than $50 billion that they would otherwise be skipping from the taxation of benefits. You get my point here? There's so many ways around this. It's not that hard to figure out. It keeps the money in the pockets of the seniors. It keeps the money where it should be in the the bank accounts of the people that earned it. And at the end of the day, it's doing something better for the trust fund, which is getting a better return on that money. Anyway, does that all make sense here? I could go on and on about this for a very long time. There's so much information here to cover, but I hope that discusses it for you. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. But yes, Trump definitely wants to eliminate taxation on the federal level for Social Security benefits. But remember, your greedy state will likely probably try to take some from you as well. but it's going to depend on which state you're located in, if you're in one of the taxing states, and how much they want to steal from you. But just remember that as well. But there's plenty of states out there that have sticky fingers and want to take some of your benefit as well. So luckily, it's not nearly as much as the federal government, but states, they love to take from the seniors as well. So anyway, let's leave it at that for now. Again, please subscribe down below, like the video, share the video, check out the other videos here on the channel, the thousands in the video library, the ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section, and right now popping up on your screen, you'll see some videos there. Take your selection now. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you. Have a nice day. Take care, and I'll see you again.